Hey, Mr. Smith, video lesson number 3 for the performance tasks, and it's the Teach Me Something video assignment. And I'm going to be graphing and transforming the points of logarithms, talking about the parameters, the base points for each base log function, the asymptotes, domain and range, and the intercepts. And then finally, on the back here, we'll be graphing them. So also I started off by initially trying to record the whole thing, but it takes about 15 minutes to do so. So I'm not going to do that. I'll try to talk over it quickly. So for the log base 2 function, our base points are, our base x values are 1, 2, 4, and 8. Basically, if you're subbing in log base 2, 4, you're going to get 2. Log base 2 of 8, or yeah, you're going to get 3. So say 2 to the power of 3, you get 8, whatever way you want to say it. And then for our initial transform points here, looking at the stretches, compressions, and reflections, these are our points. And then our final transform points, adding on the phase shift and the C value, and the points we're going to be graphing are here. And for our vertical asymptote, we're looking at the phase shift value, so our D value, which is -2. So we're going to have a vertical asymptote of -2. And our x-intercept point, I guess I'll walk you through this real quick. We are shifting over the -5 to the other side, and because we have a negative sign here as our a value, we have -1. The -5 is going to stay negative. And then using our log rules, we are going to remove the log value, or remove the log sign, and move the x plus 2 over, and make the base 2 function to power of -5, which is going to give us a nice, or not a nice decimal, it's going to give us a decimal. So this is our x-intercept, and then our y-intercept, same thing, except we're just making, instead of the y value 0, we're making the x value 0, and solving, and then we get down to here, and since it's a negative log function, log base 2 of 2 is equal to 1, but since it's a negative log function, it's going to be -1, -1, -5, -6. So our y-intercept is going to be -6, and we'll come back to the domain and range after. And then for our base 10 function, for our base 10 function, our k value is 1 in front of the x there. 1 over 1 is, or 1 over k is 1. Our a value in the front there is 4. Our phase shift value isn't -4, it's +4. And then our C value is +4 as well. So these are our initial stretches, compressions, and reflections, our initial transform points, and these are our final transform points using the phase shift and the C value at the end, which we're going to be graphing. And our vertical asymptote, looking at our phase shift, is going to be x equals 4. So the graph's just going to go and stay on the right side, because our x-intercept down here is 4.1, so it's never going to go past, or it's never going to go to the left of the vertical asymptote. It's going to stay on the right side. So I'll just do the domain and range for this one real quick. Domain is going to be x is equal to any set of real numbers such that x must be greater than 4. And our range, since it just goes down forever and technically goes up forever, y is going to be equal to any set of real numbers. That was kind of bad. And yeah, looking at our x-intercept here, same thing as on the top, using our log rules to remove the log here, moving over the x minus 4, solving for that. And then we actually don't have a y-intercept here because, as I said before, it stays on the right side of the graph. It's never going to touch the y-axis. That is about it for talking about the transformations. So we will move over to the graphs on the back here. So for our initial function, don't know why that says -8. And I forgot to put in the x values here. Do that real quick. Really sorry. Only need to go to, what do I need to go to? +6. So starting off here, we got -1, -5. Right here. Also, let's just add in our vertical asymptote of -2. And then we have 0, -6. 2, -7, and 6, -8. So 2, -7, and 6, -8. So, yeah, this looks about right. So this is going to be our initial sketch here of our final transform points. Just going to go like that, follow the line, kind of miss the intercept. Not a very good grapher. And we'll put an arrow there, arrow up here, and label this real quick. 0, -6, and then -2.0135, I'm pretty sure, is our x-intercept. And go back to our domain and range for that one. Domain is going to be, let me just go back to it real quick. Domain is going to be x is equal to any set of real numbers such that x must be greater than -2. Sorry that it's kind of crammed here. And then our y value is just going to be y is equal to any set of real numbers. What am I doing? There we go. And that is going to be our log base 2 function graphed. And then looking at our log base 10 function, look at our points real quick. 5, 4, and 14, 8. 5, 4. And 14, 8. And we'll sketch in our asymptote, which is -4. Try to do this while holding the phone is not fun. I usually set it up on a stand of books, but it doesn't work very well either. X equals 4. That's our asymptote. And we're just going to sketch this in, hopefully do a nice sketch here. We'll start at the bottom. Oh, also our x-intercept here, roughly. And we're going to go up, up, up through the x-axis, and we're going to curve it around. And it's going to continue to go up and to the right. So yeah, we already did our domain and range here. As long as x is greater than 4 and y can be any set of real numbers. Put a down arrow here. Label our x-intercept point, which is 4.010. And that should be about it. So here are my graphs. And then on the other side here, we have all of our transform points, talking about our parameters, the phase shift, the asymptotes, domain and range, and our intercepts, and how the base of the log function affects the graph. So that's about everything. Thanks for listening to my final performance task assignment.